Scott's over at Streamdal, and today I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on how to set up your development environment. We're going to head to the github.com/Streamdal URL. That's our organization, and underneath that there is a Streamdal repo, and this contains all the components that make up the Streamdal service, like the server, the console, and we'll get into more of that later. But basically, we're going to scroll down through the README, and we're going to look for the Quickstart, the Getting Started section, and you'll see a little script there. And what this does is it actually just installs a Docker Compose. So if you go to our docs, install Docker, you'll see essentially what it runs. You'll navigate to this repo, and you'll go through the README, and you can see you can Docker Compose up to do the same exact thing that script does. And you can check out the Docker Compose to see that it's just a Streamdal server with some default EMBs for development, the console, and a Redis that maintains state, and Envoy, which does some translation from HTTP to gRPC for our console. All right, it looks like it finished up. Let's go to the URL it suggested, and we'll just do a Docker PS real quick, make sure everything's running. It looks good. All right, our console's up and ready to go. So from here, you can start to actually work with the SDK. So let's go back to the main repo, and we will navigate to the SDKs. And I think we'll do Python for this example. Let's just go down to the README, and we'll copy the example right from here. All right, bring up our code editor, and we're gonna make a file called test.py, and we're just gonna paste what we copied earlier. So the first thing we need to do is adjust the config. Since it's running on our local Docker, we need to change that to use localhost. And everything else can stay the same pretty much. This token is configured by default to 1234 in the Docker Compose. Feel free to change it to whatever you want. Just make sure you update your client to match. Then the client process, that basically just describes the code, what it's doing, and it will display in the Streamdal UI, which you'll see shortly. And then this is the mock data that we're going to be sending across. And once it's through the other side, you'll see it here, and it will print. So let's go ahead and add a loop here, because right now it's only going to send one message, and we need to add a time sleep so that we're not constantly looping so fast that we can't read it. Not that Streamdal would have a problem processing it. 2, and I think we need to import time. Cool, looks good. I'm going to go ahead and fire up a terminal and see if our code... Oh, you know what? We need to install the Streamdal SDK. Alright, looks like I already have it installed. Let's go ahead and run our code. Okay, cool. It's printing and processing the message. Let's go back to our Streamdal UI. Awesome, and it looks like the dashboard has gone ahead and graphed it all out. We can see bytes are flowing through, and let's use the tail feature to make sure the data actually is coming through. Awesome. We see the email address and the JSON, which is object and email, and Streamdal will actually infer the schema for you, so you can see it down here as you work. All right, let's navigate to the pipeline section. This is the next part you typically work with. We'll call this job email. In the first step, we will detect. Let's go ahead and detect email. We'll use detective. That's what we use to find matching patterns or various PII. And I think we want to do object email. use the pre-made PII email rule. And basically all we want to do now is say on false, abort the current pipeline, because we do not want the next step to execute if the pipeline did not detect any PII. All right, let's add another step. We'll just call it mask. And the type is going to be transform. And from here, we'll just mask the value. And we don't need to mess with any of this because there's nothing to really do. Oh yeah, we do need to tell it the JSON path. Let's save. Let's go back to our dashboard. Let's refresh here. Tail. All right, and now the last thing we need to do is just attach our pipeline. And look at that, it's automatically detecting any emails that pass through the system and will mask them. And that pretty much sums up how to quickly get started. You can imagine, basically, let me pull up the code real quick and just explain the next steps. Basically, after you've done this, and Streamdal is now passing down functions to your SDK here, you can see here that the output is the process code. Instead of just printing, your next step is to go ahead and connect it up to whatever endpoint you're sending this data to, and it will have the transformed and ready to go data. But yeah, that's it. Feel free to hit us up on our Discord if you have any questions. We'll be doing a lot more videos. I'll do a production session.